I know I'm very late to the party, but we do have a short notice fight between Elizeu Zaleski and Zach Scroggin. I did want to record this video a couple of days ago when it was announced, but I wanted to also wait for the Cody Garbrandt versus Miles Johns replacement get announced. That fight is cancelled. This is the only short notice fight on the card, to my knowledge anyway, unless they've somehow miraculously found Miles Johns an opponent. This is it. So Zaleski's now fighting against Zach Scroggin. I did originally pick Nicolas Dalby in the fight against Zaleski. It was a pretty low confidence pick, but now into the short notice matchup, I'm just going to be open and honest. I'm sure a lot of you guys just want the pick anyway. I am picking Zaleski. And honestly, I actually think that there's a chance that he might find a finish here. Now, to talk about Zach Scroggin, there's a lot of tape on this guy, thankfully, because he does fight for FAC. And for the most part, a lot of FAC performances are just uploaded to YouTube. And usually there's more than one YouTube channel that uploads them as well. But if you can't find them on YouTube for whatever reason, a lot of the older FAC events have also been uploaded to UFC Fight Pass as well. To talk about Zach Scroggin, as I said, I genuinely didn't know who he was, and that's a surprise because you just look at him on paper, 8-0 amateur, 7-0 professional, trains for not really like a well-known gym, but this is actually the gym, Marathon MMA, that Trey Ogden owns, to my knowledge anyway. According to Tapology, that is the case. And if you go into him, he is just a wrestler for the most part. I don't think that his striking is all that good, but on paper, this guy looks great. 8-0 amateur, 7-0 pro, 6'3" welterweight. He's a big welterweight, but when I watch him fight, I think that there is a very big weakness in his game, and that weakness in his game is the striking, and that just kind of happens to be one of Zaleski's strengths. Zaleski's nickname is capoeira, which is the Brazilian dance fighting style, and although capoeira kind of is like a very different sort of striking style, it still does kind of have a lot of flow, a lot of technique to it. And I think that on the feet, he is just going to be a lot better than Zach Scroggin. I was watching Zach Scroggin's fights. This guy doesn't move his head. This guy's hands, like, he holds them pretty high, but he just leaves his chin way up there. I think there's kind of a lot for him to work on in the striking if he's going to present a threat on the feet at the UFC level. Now, however, where he is very good, though, is in the grappling. Kind of just like Trey Ogden, to be honest with you guys. Very good grappling, and when he is on top, he does have very good ground and pound. He does have very good control when he does get to top position, and I think that this fight, really, just if you think that Zach Scroggin can win, comes down to if you think he can get Zaleski down to the ground early and finish the fight early, because I was watching his fights, and the one fight that really went the distance against Zach Garcia, who is by far, and it's not even close, the best fighter he has ever fought, a former Bellator fighter. Garcia's fought in many promotions as well, but probably most famous for his Bellator run, if you could even say he is famous for that. And in that fight, you get to the third round and Scroggin's won the fight, but he's really slowing down. He's gassing out a little bit. It turns out that maybe his cardio isn't really ready just to kind of put on like a very tough pace for 15 minutes, but to be fair, nobody's really is. And then aside from that level of competition, I just wasn't very sold on it. This Josh Weston guy, short guy with a beer belly. No disrespect to Josh Weston, but 9-17 record, he's won a few fights, but he's lost most of them, and he probably is just a stepping stone. I know that Josh Tully is a stepping stone for a lot of these guys. This guy has fought now Gage Young, Zach Scroggin, Jason Witt, before Jason Witt got into the UFC. So yeah, Josh Tully's been a stepping stone for a long time, and just all of these guys, the level of competition's not good, the striking's not great, the grappling's good, but I just think it's too much too soon. Maybe, like, you could say that Zaleski's getting old, he's 38 years old, he's taking an up-and-coming undefeated amateur, undefeated pro. I'll just be honest with you guys, I just wasn't impressed by the striking by Zach Scroggin. I think that there is a chance, honestly, because he is just kind of, like, perfect for welterweight, 6'3", with a 74-inch reach. With time, he could develop that striking. Trey Ogden has given Daniel Zellhuber problems in the striking before, so I'm sure being under Trey Ogden, with time, your striking's going to develop, but I think going in there against Zaleski, it might just be a little bit too much too soon, so I am going to pick Zaleski by second or third round knockout. I think that Scroggin can slow down, and I think that Zaleski can get it done by late finish. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This card, I'm excited for it. Honestly, the craziest thing is I'm actually pretty excited about the lock of the week this week. It was meant to be a Garbrandt, but now it is a prop to do with this fight of all things. So shout out to Jacob for that. And honestly, this card, I mean, I really do look at it again on paper, and I do think, man, it's not a strong card, is it? It just isn't. But it is going to be a card that, in my opinion, I think that there's going to be a lot of finishes on, so I'm looking forward to it. And now that my exams are all over, you can expect a little bit more content out of me in general on YouTube. I do have kind of a lot of plans for the break after the December 14th event. I think we get in another like 3 or 4 week break from the UFC. And in that period of time, I think I'm going to do some Contender Series 2025 predictions on who's going to be there and like what I would do if I was a matchmaker and stuff like end of year prizes, end of year award show. I don't know. I've never done that before, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, there's 3 week break, or maybe it's 4 weeks. I don't know, guys. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning to study for my exam at 9:30. So nonetheless, let me know what you think about the fight. 6-minute video, not too long. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for the support as well. I did just notice that we recently hit 1 million views on the channel. I think that must have happened in the last week. So I appreciate that. And I think I'm getting pretty close to that 8,000 subscriber mark as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. And the next one will probably be my predictions for UFC 309 and then UFC Macau. 2 events I'm very, very excited about.